Hello and welcome to the new series of camping review shows with thelondonbiker.com. Today we're talking torches and lanterns. In particular, we're talking about a new lantern from alpkit.com, which I have to say is pretty damn cool. Over the last 5 years or so, lanterns have come on in leaps and bounds. In fact, we've come on a very long way from this kind of lantern, which is your traditional gas lantern. Very good, very bright, is ideal if you're going camping with a family. It puts out a lot of brightness. Now, the only problem with this, of course, is that you need to carry the gas canisters for it. It does eat through the gas canisters in about a 1 week trip if you're using it every night. You also have to carry the mantles with you, and that's the little bit of material that actually ignites and glows inside. They're also a little bit delicate. This is made of glass, so it's not really suitable for any kind of application where you may be travelling. You're not really able to keep it safe. So what we saw was, the advent of battery-powered lanterns, and to be honest, there's not many of those that are very good. In fact, I've not got one here to show you. The first kind of lantern that I saw that really started to have an impact on being portable and put out a decent light was this. Now, this is a 1.5 watt super bright LED lantern, bought from Coleman's. It's absolutely solid. The base there is made of metal, the rest of it is very solid plastic. It flashes, as well as having a constant light, but it's powered by just 4 AA batteries. That meant that you could carry a source of power with you fairly easily when you're on the road. And this is what I've used in Morocco and Russia, and it's bright enough for the inside of my tent. It's not really bright enough to do the cooking by. So what I bought was this, which is a top of the range Petzl head lantern. Now, these lanterns are really good. They're a little bit expensive, but you have a very bright LED, 3 bright LEDs there, and also if you carry on twisting it round, you have a halogen bulb. Now, that's quite impressive, and certainly when I was buying this, really this was the best option out of all of them. I can look like a miner, for example, but the halogen bulb has the throw that you really need when you're camping and when you're cooking. And then when you're just in your tent and you just need to concentrate on something that's quite close, you've got the LEDs. And that was really the limit of LEDs, was the fact that they didn't throw very far, and as bright as the super bright LEDs were, the 1.5 watt, they still weren't throwing light far enough. Then we started to see from companies like Alpkit a cheaper alternative to the head torches. Now, this is the Alpkit piece, and I'm just going to come nearer so that you can see these. Now, what we have, turn the light on and you can see, is 2 very different heads, and you can see those heads there. But importantly, what you also have is 2 very different backs. This is the battery pack for the Petzl, this is the battery pack off the Alpkit. They're significantly different in size. They also weigh much less than each other. But what this had for the first time, as well as your one little super bright LED, you had a green LED and a red LED. And you could make the red LED flash. Doesn't sound very important, but I must admit, if you're getting up to go to the loo in the middle of the night, that red LED doesn't spoil your night vision, but gives you enough light to go to the loo and do what you need to do. But the other thing that the Alpkit headlamp had was, if I press and hold, it had an exceptionally bright LED. So that one obviously uses the batteries faster, but was much brighter, much stronger, and threw the light further as well. So all of a sudden, I had a headlamp that could throw perhaps not quite as far as the halogen bulb, but certainly far enough to be useful. And that saving in terms of the battery pack on the back and the light and the amount of space was really good. The other thing, and I'm not quite sure if you can see this, is the back lights up and also flashes. So this was an ideal torch for wearing if you were on your push bike. Not that I ever use a push bike, but you get the idea. So that's really how I became aware, and you can see the different functions there, of Alpkit. Now they've just released a new lantern, and this is really exceptionally brilliant. This is the first LED lantern that I've seen, even better than this one, that puts out enough light that I don't need to take anything else with me except my little head torch. So all of a sudden, instead of taking the lantern, my Petzl headlamp, and perhaps an additional mag light torch, very good, very reliable, very bright, now all I need to take with me is my lantern and my head torch, both of which from Alpkit. Now, I'm going on about Alpkit, but that's because they're one of the first companies I've seen for a long time that really concentrate on the design of what they're putting together. Now, this lantern, for example, has a metal body with solid plastic parts, very similar to the Coleman torch. It takes, unlike the lantern, it takes 3 AA batteries, so that's less to carry around. Obviously, you get less length of power through that. But here's why I think this one's better. For a start, it's significantly brighter. So that's the Alpkit lantern. Let me put this one next to it so that you can see the difference. Now really most of that is achieved through the improvement in LED technology, and we've seen that for a very long time. Remember that there was a time when you could buy little LED torches like this that were, you used to find in the pullout of the Radio Times. And, they were great little gadgets, they were a great little bit of fun, and you saw LEDs also in the tops of torches and things like that, but they were next to useless. This is the first time that we're now starting to see LEDs being used in a really powerful, useful way. You can buy little LED torches now, very, very small, but incredibly bright. Absolutely incredibly bright. And all of a sudden, that's something that you can carry around with you. And that's what Alpkit are exploiting here. Incredibly bright lantern, well thought out. It's got clips that go on the top and a little carabiner so you can hang it up. It's also got those clips on the bottom so that you can hang it from its bottom. Now, that alone is quite impressive, but moving beyond that, what they've also done is you take the top of the lantern off and it creates a very good circle of light. You can't really see it, but it's a perfect circle. So what this means is that you can hang it by its bottom over the top of the table, and it illuminates the table perfectly. All that light is directed downwards. You can also use it as a straightforward torch. Actually, as a torch, it's not terribly useful. It's throwing the light a little bit wide for me. I probably stick to my little pen light that I've got here, again the LED. But it's certainly useful enough. The other useful function it's got, and this is actually really clever, is just on the front of the lantern, and you're not going to be able to see it because it's not dark here, is a little green LED. When it's dark, this LED flashes. Very, very low powered, hardly anything at all really, but it's enough for you to be able to locate this in the dark. That's such a great idea. Wake up in your tent in the middle of the night, where's the torch? No fumbling around, because you can see the green LED. I just think that's a brilliant idea. So, what to take with you? I can't recommend the Alpkit head torch and the lantern enough, and actually the amazing thing about this is how cheap they are. They're incredibly cheap. The bulb, which is what this is called, the Alpine Kit bulb is $15.99. The head torch, when I bought it, was about $13.99. I think it's a little bit cheaper now. That's fantastic value for money. To give you an idea of why LEDs don't have to be expensive, this torch, which I just showed you, the very, very bright, little, tiny, tiny little torch, $14.99 from the camping shop. You don't have to spend a fortune on LED lanterns. You don't need to pay £30 for an absolutely solid, very, very bright, it has to be said, torch that throws for 200 metres. You just need something that's going to do the job whilst you're out and about. My recommendation, go to alpkit.com and pick up the head torch if you don't pick up anything else.